And good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. It's actually politics night on the Pete Mezzetti Show, and with me to discuss what's going on in the wonderful world of politics is West Haven mayoral candidate Ed O'Brien. Mr. Mayor, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. How are you?
Good, I'm doing well.
Good. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was the mayor of West Haven from 2013 to 2017.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was on the city council. I was chairman of the city council. And I'm out there pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, running again for mayor.
And obviously you have an opponent.
Yes, I have an opponent, the current mayor, Nancy Rossi.
Right.
And city clerk is also running. So it's a three-way race at this point for the primary.
Okay, and when is the primary?
September 10th.
Okay, all right.
So.
And how are things going with the campaign so far?
They're going well. I'm getting a great response. Door knocking. I've been literally been knocking since February. And I'm really getting overwhelming support from the residents. Now,
how big of a city is West Haven?
It's 10.6 square miles.
Okay.
56,000 residents.
Wow.
So it's a small, densely populated town or city.
And who else do you have running with you?
I have a full slate. We haven't announced them yet.
Okay.
But,
okay. All right.
I have the former tax collectors running for city clerk. So I have a good, well-rounded, well-diverse team.
Well,
we'll be announcing in the coming week or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of well-rounding and well-diverse, he says laughingly, you also have the political expertise of a friend of ours.
Who's that?
That would be Jim Amon.
Yes. Jim Amon's been working very hard on my campaign since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So we put together, like I said, a great campaign team, a great team of a slate of candidates running with us. So I think we're doing well.
Now tell us what's your platform and what are some of the issues you're running on? The
issues I'm running on are simple. It's bringing economic development to West Haven. I think that you have to bring in revenue. And for too long, West Haven, the answer has always been just raise taxes. West Haven is one of the highest taxed cities in Connecticut.
Okay.
So a generation, that's the way it's been. There hasn't been a strong push for development and growing our commercial base. So that's what I've done my first time as mayor, and it's what I plan to do my second time.
Now, from your first time as mayor to now, has the city changed or has it grown? Has the city changed much?
Yes, the city changed from the first time I was mayor to now. I mean, the population has changed.
Okay.
It's a very transient population.
Right.
And again, those people don't feel like they've been represented in government. So that's what I am reaching out to those group, and those are the people that we put on my slate.
Now, the difference between you and your two opponents is what?
Very simple. It's, first of all, the ability to attract commercial base to West Haven, to attract businesses. I'm the only one of the three of us who can actually say that I've done that. I brought almost $500 million in investment to the city of West Haven in just 4 years.
Wow.
My first 4 years. So I can sit around a conference table, sell the city of West Haven, tell everybody involved how great it is and why they should relocate and why they should start their business or relocate their business to West Haven.
Well, tell me, why should they start their business or relocate their business to West Haven?
That's a great question.
There you go.
West Haven is what millennials are looking for right now. It's a densely populated town.
Okay.
There's restaurants, there's shops, there's a beautiful downtown with a nice green. There's, of course, the largest public shoreline in Connecticut is right there in West Haven.
Right.
It's a great place to live, shop, work, play, and that's what the commercials is looking for right now.
Exactly.
So we've attracted Pinpoint.
Now, how about on the educational side of things for the city of West Haven? School systems?
School systems is a good school system. We have all-day kindergarten, which is something I'm proud to say I did in my first go-around as mayor. Our test scores are on the rise as a result of that. So we are building a new high school. So we'll have a beautiful new facility for our high school students, and we're upgrading all the elementary and junior high schools. So those all started on my watch. So.
And obviously,
very proud of that.
City Hall's looking pretty well.
City Hall's looking well. I mean, City Hall's a building right on the town green in downtown. So, there's some work that we need to do in our center of town, which is what I will do once I'm elected mayor.
Right.
So.
And obviously, the tax rate's pretty.
Tax rate is pretty high in West Haven.
Okay.
And the current mayor right now has raised taxes both years she was in office. And in her 5-year plan, she plans on raising them next year and the year after. So, you know, I chose not to raise taxes. The city taxes stayed stagnant while I was in there. They did not go up, but, you know, we went out and attracted businesses. Our grand list grew by $30 million last year alone.
Wow.
So it's brought in an extra $1 million right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yale New Haven Health System is
Sure.
consolidating everything from Westchester County to Providence, Rhode Island, right in West Haven. That'll bring, I think they'll be cutting the ribbon that in the fall, but that should bring a substantial tax increase, or revenue increase. Mm-hmm. So that right there, that's over $1 million.
Wow.
So I think that's what you have to do. That's the secret of the success. You have to raise revenues, not taxes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's a lot more economically more friendly if you raise revenue and don't raise taxes.
Correct.
Which is always
anybody can get in there and raise taxes. That's what I always say.
Exactly, and everybody can know. It's probably a lot easier to when you're out pitching, when you're the mayor of a major city, pitching the idea of a corporation coming to your city. It's probably easier to pitch the economy side of things rather than, oh, come on into the city of blah blah blah, and we're gonna.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that.
Right. Which is which is a good thing.
Right.
Which is a good thing.
And for too long, I mean, listen, West Haven hasn't really went out and solicited new businesses. No one was out there selling the story of how great West Haven was, you know, for, like I said, at least a generation.
Right.
So.
And obviously the city of West Haven has grown a little bit more, and it's changed as well.
It's changed as well, right.
How
like most other towns. Well, I think the population changed. Like, again, it's the, you know, our population is very diverse.
Right.
Yeah, so. You know, our center, it's a typical change that most towns have. The center of West Haven, where it used to be a vibrant place where people went to shop, they went to malls, that's kind of lacking right now. So that is something we have to, you know, work on building back.
Now, when you were first elected, what was the economic climate?
When I was first elected,
Yes.
I ran on almost the same platform as far as economics. It was non-existent. Okay. There was developers coming, getting turned away. There was nothing on the horizon of any large scale. I remember my opponent put a Dunkin' Donuts in. A new Dunkin' Donuts opened up in my first election. And that was on a postcard saying what a great job he did with economic development. It was a Dunkin' Donuts. So,
really?
You know, I'm thinking more large scale, more revenue generating.
Yeah.
Something to offset the taxes
right.
our residents have to pay. So it was non-existent. Like I said, we brought in almost $500 million in investment. Mm-hmm. So I think we have to get back to doing that.
Exactly. And how do you suggest we get back to doing that?
Well, I still have contacts in the development world. Okay. And I talk to these developers all the time. They don't want to come into a town where taxes are going up year after year after year. No. Or, you know, there budget cuts. What we cut is things like concerts and maintenance. I mean, if you go along our shoreline, there's grass 2 feet high.
Right.
That's something we have to do better on. But that's how you attract developers. You know, you got to take care of that stuff.
Exactly. Now, as far as things as what sort of economic development did you propose in West Haven?
Well, I brought in the Haven. It's a high-scale, upscale mall. Have you heard about the Haven?
I have.
65 stores, 5 restaurants right along the shoreline.
Right.
That they should start groundbreaking that soon. That's going to bring $3 million at least in revenue. The Yale New Haven Health System, I brought that in.
Wow. And
that was just selling West Haven. You know, they were looking up and down the 95 corridor, and we wound up landing them in West Haven. Okay. Pinpoint is the marketing firm for Live Nation. We attracted them from another town. You know, so there's been large scale. We have the first grow lab, the marijuana grow lab in West Haven, which is it's a biotech, and that's a good development. Wow. Big expansion at Enthone. They did a multi-million-dollar expansion. Around UNH, there's 3 buildings. It's called University Commons, and it's 3 mixed-use buildings. First floor is all retail, and then 3 floors of apartments. They built the first one. It's open, 100% occupied, and now they're in the process of building the second building.
And how long is that going to take to be built?
The second one's probably about a year from now. It'll be open. You know, we're getting ready for next school year.
Yeah.
And then they'll start on the third one.
Wow.
Yeah, and those are $35 million each building. Wow. And it surrounds a green in the UNH section, University of New Haven section. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of development in West Haven during my time.
There has been, and obviously one of the things we haven't mentioned yet is the city of West Haven is home of the University of New Haven.
Yes, it is.
Which is always a nice thing.
Yes.
And I'm sure
I enjoyed a great relationship with President Kaplan and UNH.
Yeah. I was going to say, and West Haven's also the home of the radio station.
Yes.
Which you and I both are very aware of.
Very aware of, yes, at UNH.
That's right.
Okay. So.
Exactly. So what else do we want to tell everybody about the mayoral race in the city of West Haven?
As far as the race, I think that I just want to tell everybody that it's an important race to get out. I think last time people didn't get out and vote. It was probably one of the lowest turnouts in the city of West Haven. And I lost by 100 votes. My plan is not to raise taxes, to raise revenues. And you have to get out and vote to make that happen.
Right. And obviously for the primary, which is in September.
Primary September 10th.
This is a regular voting hours, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All
regular
day.
Voting hours all day.
All day, okay.
And then we go on to November from there.
There you go. As far as the voting goes in the city of West Haven, how many polling places are there?
There's 10 polling places. There's 10 districts. Every district has a polling place. Like you said, they're open from 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage everybody to get out and vote. And listen, whether they vote for me or not, they have to get out and vote. It's very important to vote.
There you go. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Not at all.
We'll be right back.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Community TV, your neighborhood TV.
Publicly funded and a reliable partner for cable companies nationwide. It provides transparent coverage of local and state government, education, and public programming.
A digital town green that can be watched anywhere, anytime, and on any device.
Watch us on today's high-tech distribution methods.
Community TV in Connecticut.
Local,
unfiltered,
reliable, and yours.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Mayor Ed OBrien. Sir, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming down. So we were talking a little bit about the break, during the break, about some newsworthy items that are happening in the city of West Haven. I was wondering if we can open up the segment talking about some of what recently has happened in the city.
Certainly. We had, on the 3rd of July, it turned out to be a man and a woman. I don't know if they're boyfriend and girlfriend, but they wound up killing the dog. They burned the dog in a cage.
What?
A little miniature schnauzer. It was a huge, thing for anybody in West Haven, but I was on the state task force for animal cruelty.
All right.
And I called on the state legislature to increase the animal cruelty fines and penalties. I mean, currently, when they catch that person, and they have made an arrest, I believe, a year is the maximum time in jail, a $1,000 fine that they would get for burning an animal alive in a cage. So, that was something that we had a big press conference in West Haven. And unfortunately, that's not West Haven. That's something that, some sick people came and did something horrendous in West Haven. So,
now what's going on down at the beaches?
Down at the beaches, currently last year there was concerts that got canceled.
Yep.
Bathrooms got closed. There was trash, all over the place. The current mayor just doesn't have a high priority on the shoreline or visitors or what they see or the image of West Haven. That is something that I will do better at. I think that the concerts, the cultural events, the festivals that we had brought visitors into West Haven. And it's all canceled. Our residents are leaving, going to surrounding towns for entertainment, spending money in surrounding towns. So
just no concerts.
Concerts, festivals, yeah.
Wow.
This past weekend would have been the Savin Rock Festival. She canceled the Savin Rock Festival. That brought thousands and thousands of people to West Haven every year. 35 years. My last year as mayor, I celebrated the 35th anniversary of that. And her first year as mayor, she just canceled it.
Now, what exactly is what was the Savin Rock Festival?
It was a 4-day festival celebrating West Haven's history, which is Savin Rock.
Right.
We used to have the amusement park down there. We had bands, crafters were down there. We had a carnival for the families and kids. Just an entertainment for 4 days. A 4-day festival of music and crafts and entertainment. So, again, we had food booths set up all over the place. Thousands of people came. It was just fun for the people of West Haven.
Absolutely.
And it generated revenue. It brought in money and brought in, more than that, visitors. It highlighted how great West Haven is.
And it brought in people who had never been to the city.
Brought in people who had never been to the city. That she canceled her first year. So, like I said, this past weekend would have been the festival. It was the weekend, and we didn't have it again this year. So that's something I'm looking forward to bringing back. The Wind Bash. I don't know if you heard of the Wind Bash. It's a festival with Doug Wimbish, who plays with Living Color.
Sure.
Prior to that, it was Sugar Hill Gang, was with them. And it's a foundation that Doug and myself and his wife Diane have to raise money for kids for music programs in schools, kids that can't afford like the musical instruments.
Right.
We raised thousands of dollars for West Haven students. That got canceled. We wound up having to move that to New Haven, and we raised money for those children. But it's, and that's something we do all over, not just West Haven, not just Connecticut. It's been done in LA, Dominican Republic. We had a Wind Bash, but it's something we had in West Haven that we lost. The concerts on the green every Friday night.
Yep.
I was a kid walking down with my parents, going to the concerts on the greens on Friday night. Those all are canceled. So it's a shame. Not only we're not doing economic development, we're not having the good things in West Haven. And that's something I would bring back. Being born and raised in West Haven and raising my kids in West Haven, I know the value of that, of having those kind of things.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, which we didn't talk about in my monologue. Obviously, you're married, you have kids in West Haven.
Yep.
So it's very important to you to.
It is.
Upbring your family.
Right.
In the city.
Prior to being the mayor, I owned jewelry manufacturing, a little jewelry shop.
Okay.
In the center of West Haven. And those concert nights we would draw on, and we would get customers, and people come down early and eat on the downtown and the green.
Absolutely.
So it's a loss. It's a loss on many levels. It's a loss to the businesses in that area.
It is, because if the businesses aren't thriving, they're gonna
close,
shut down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's something that I've made very clear. I will bring all that back, and most of that was fundraised for also. It's a campaign, so there's a lot of mistruths out there.
Yep.
One of them is there was a lot of deficits surrounding those concerts and festivals. They weren't. They were fundraised.
Okay.
And the corporations in UNH and Yale all chipped in to have these. So.
They were all privately.
They pretty much pay for themselves.
Yeah.
But it brings a lot more. Of course, it brings the revenue, but it brings more. It brings community spirit. It shows off West Haven.
Right.
You can't underestimate what a strong cultural or concert or festival brings.
No, definitely not.
It's all about the arts. It starts with that art stuff.
Exactly.
It does.
Exactly. And the art. Sometimes like West Haven's a really artsy and very touristy area.
It is. It was. I mean, now there's no reason to come, and that's what we have to get back to, and that's what I pledge to bring back. I went to school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We were talking about before.
Yeah.
Back in 82, 83, 84, and it was a depressed downtown. Now, if you go there, it is vibrant. People all over the place walking the streets. So I set up a meeting when I was mayor, and I went to Lancaster and met that mayor, and he says it all started with the arts. People come down for that, and then they stay, and then businesses and coffee shops open up, and that's how you turn around downtowns. So
wow,
there has to be a reason for somebody to want to move to a downtown.
There does. There does, and there's got to be a reason for people to want to come and hang out in the city of West Haven.
Right, right. You can't say people don't go to, in West Haven here, people don't go down the center shopping, but there's not any shops that lend themselves to going down there and doing that. So it starts with the arts, brings in the shops bring in the residents, and that's how you get a vibrant downtown.
Exactly. And then on the restaurant aspect of things, so obviously if the restaurants are busy, you got
Right. Right.
patrons for the restaurants that are walking around after dinner, walking around before dinner, and saying, "Oh, what a great city this is."
Exactly. And that's really what everybody should want.
Right.
So.
Exactly. If I didn't know you, and you introduced yourself to me and said, "Hi, I'm Ed O'Brien. I'm running against so and so for mayor. The primary is the 10th of September. I want you to consider voting for me." What are 3 things you would tell me why I should vote for you, and 3 things that make you different from your opponent?
Okay, the first thing I would say is I'm sure you don't like paying high taxes in the city of West Haven, so that is one reason right there.
Okay.
I think we need to raise revenues and not raise taxes. And that's something that I stuck on from the beginning. The next thing is the quality of life issues. I think that you have to have a good quality of life. You have to maintain your infrastructure, your public spaces. You have to bring in those festivals, concerts, and cultural events that we had so many of. And I think the third thing would have to be an education system. I brought in, like I said, full-day kindergarten. Something I started when I was on the council working on. It got rejected a few times through the council. But as mayor, when I became mayor, we got that accomplished, and the test scores started going up, and we started improving our schools, making them modern, and you have to, giving the teachers and the students an environment that lends itself to learning. So my 3 things would be revenue, economic development, quality of life, and education.
Okay.
Just 4 things.
All right. I'll give you credit for
Now
more
you got
things.
4 reasons to vote for me.
Oh, man. Now,
And those are the same things that I would say that we're lacking on the current. There is virtually no economic development currently with this administration.
okay.
She's just following along with the schools, all the projects that I had in place. There's nothing current going on, and there is 0 economic development. I mean, I can't even tell you a little kind of mom and pop store that opened up. So there's no economic development in West Haven.
Really?
So
That's sad.
and taxes are going up. So
That is sad.
it is sad.
Wow,
It's sad. It's sad
that's-
for somebody who was, like I said, born and raised in that
Right.
town, and somebody who left and chose to come back.
I was going to say, you and I also have another mutual friend, and that would be Rich Borer from Easter Seals.
Yes, Rich Borer, the former mayor.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right.
Rich Borer.
He was
for
mayor
14
too.
years.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot he was mayor too.
Yep. So
Who's a great
Rich
guy.
Borer's a good friend of mine.
Oh, he's
Yes.
a great guy. I talked to him today, and I told him I told him I was coming to the studio to tape tonight, and I told him who I was having on with me. He was like, "Mark my words." I'm like, "What's that?" He was like, "You're gonna like Ed O'Brien, and if you don't like Ed O'Brien, you call me tomorrow morning and you let me know." I'm
Okay.
like, all right. I'm like,
Well, I hope you don't call him and tell him you don't like me.
"Oh no, I'm gonna call him and tell him we had a really
Yeah.
good conversation."
Richard was mayor for 14 years. He did a lot of good for the city.
Yep, that's right.
So he's at Easter Seals Goodwill now.
Yeah, he's president.
well.
He's doing very well. I talked to him this morning briefly, as a matter of fact. And did you work with Rich when he was mayor?
When Rich was mayor, I was in business, and I was president of the Downtown Arts Association, so
Oh, okay.
I worked with him.
All right.
We were there, yeah. Yep, and back then we did a lot of things. Farmers Market started in those years
Okay.
when Rich was in power and I was the president of the Merchants. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on down in the center back in those days.
And I would probably say that the Downtown Merchants Association, is it still active to this day?
No, I believe
No?
I was the last president of that, so it's not active to this day.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's a shame.
It is a shame.
It is.
It is a shame. Now, if people want more information on your campaign, where are they going?
Reelected2019.com.
And what kind of
And we're on Facebook and Twitter and all social media.
what type of information can they find on the website?
They can find my platform, information about me, that kind of stuff. When we're up on date and that all the time.
And obviously, you're out there door knocking. And
I've been door knocking since February. Getting a great response.
How things going?
Things are going good.
response-wise?
Right now, we're in the petition process because,
Yeah.
so we have till August 7th to get a petition signed.
Right.
Anybody wants to sign, they can get in touch with me again through any social media or my website.
Okay.
And we're about halfway through right now, so we're doing good.
And then once you present all the signatures to the Secretary of State, they go up and they verify them, and then
you're on the ballot.
Then you're on the ballot, and
Right. So we started door knocking, or I started door knocking in February, and we stopped. Right now we're in the signature process, and we'll get right back to that again. I think I've talked to 2/3 of the city right now, on streets-wise.
now the city, is it mostly Democratic city, mostly Republican city, some independent city?
It's mostly Democrat.
Okay.
There's probably 4,000, I think the number's 4,000 Republicans, 18,000 Democrats.
Wow.
So yeah, it's mostly a Democratic town,
Which is a good thing.
which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
and we have Yale and we have UNH. It's a nice little college town. So
Exactly.
yep.
Exactly.
It's
So we got a little bit more time left. So website and contact information one more time.
reelected2019.com, and then Facebook. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all social media platforms.
All the platforms.
All the platforms.
You get them all.
Yes.
You get them all. And if people want more information on the campaign, they can go to the website, go to social media. Obviously, get out there and vote.
Yep. And most important is to get out and vote September 10th.
Exactly. September 10th, get
September
out there
10th.
and vote.
And again, the difference is raise revenues on the OBrien camp or raise taxes on the other.
Exactly. Ed O'Brien,
Yeah.
thanks for coming down.
Thank you very
Hopefully
much,
we'll
Pete.
see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Ed O'Brien, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks and good night, and we'll see you next time.